New details tonight about what investigators are calling a terror attack in Germany. They say a gunman killed people around a shopping mall. What they're saying about him.
They've run into some skeptical people, but a Central Kentucky rescue squad wants you to know that their door-to-door fundraising effort is legit.
If you've been thinking about putting your home on the market in Lexington, why experts say now is the perfect time to do it.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good Friday evening to you. Some rough weather across parts of Kentucky tonight. Slow-moving storms dumped heavy rain.
And that rain is still falling in parts of the state tonight. Let's join our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Chris, any reports of flooding?
Yeah, we've had a little bit of flooding coming out of western parts of Pulaski County so far this evening. Nothing major, just a couple of flooded roadways that we've heard about near the Nancy community. This big thunderstorm complex continues to slowly wind down here into the southern parts of the area. Here's that flood warning that goes until 3:15 tomorrow morning for Pulaski and a northern part of Wayne County, a small little sliver of that area. Most of the rain, though, has ended. Heaviest rain falling just to the southwest of Nancy. Defender says it's estimating 4.7 inches of rain in just a few hours' time earlier this evening into parts of Pulaski County. Now, the heavier rains have ended, though we're still getting in on a localized downpour from southern parts of Whitley County back over toward the Monticello area into Wayne County. And rain is also winding down here from Columbia to Campbellsville back toward the southwest. We've had flooding into parts of western Kentucky as well. It is set up like this. What typically happens that you get these little thunderstorms to send out rain-cooled boundaries or mini cold fronts that'll float around tonight, and then all of a sudden tomorrow you may see those fire up some additional thunderstorms. What we're looking at in your hour-by-hour forecast is a weakening trend through tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow afternoon I expect some additional storms to fire up. As a matter of fact, storms are going to take control of the pattern, guys. A very busy hour-by-hour breakdown at 11:13.
Chris, thank you. And now to some breaking news from the campaign trail. Tonight, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton announcing her running mate, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. In a message to her supporters, she called Senator Kaine a relentless optimist. Before becoming senator, he served as governor of Virginia. Senator Kaine is considered to be a moderate. He'll appear with Mrs. Clinton at a rally in Miami tomorrow. The Democratic National Convention begins Monday in Philadelphia. We have some new information tonight about a shooting spree in Germany that authorities now say left at least 10 people dead and others injured.
It happened around a busy shopping mall in Munich. German police say they believe a single gunman was responsible, and he is among the dead. Riley Carlson has the latest in our top story at 11.
Cell phone video shows a gunman apparently opening fire on people outside a McDonald's restaurant near a Munich shopping mall just before 6 Friday evening. People ran for safety as gunshots rang out. Security forces shut down the city's transit system for several hours as they hunted for gunmen. At one point, authorities were searching for up to 3 suspects armed with long guns. Munich police are calling the attack suspected terrorism. The U.S. condemned the assault. President Obama says the U.S. stands with Germany.
Germany is one of our closest allies, so we are going to pledge all the support that they may need.
Police said they found the body of a man they believe was the shooter. He's been identified as 18-year-old Sambol Hamoudani Ali, an Iranian who lived in Munich. Officials believe he acted alone. Riley Carlson for CBS News, London.
Now, a Boone County family vacationing in Munich found themselves caught right in the middle of the chaos tonight. Kim Trenkamp says she and her family, they were eating at a restaurant near the shooting scene when people inside heard popping noises, fearing it was gunfire. She says people in the restaurant took cover. You are looking at cell phone video that she took.
But it was enough panic for all of us to start diving under tables and trying to run. Everyone around us, benches were being knocked over, tables were being knocked over, and we were hunkered down under the tables at that point.
She says the noises in that restaurant were not gunfire and actually glass mugs breaking. She says her family is safe tonight.
A disturbing discovery in a Clark County home. Police say they found more than a dozen dogs that had been neglected. Investigators say neighbors called to complain after seeing some of the dogs in the middle of Melbourne Street in Winchester. When police showed up at the home, they say they found unlivable conditions inside. The renters of the home were livid that police had been called.
They get food and water every god day. Oh wow, there's some cats running around. Look, they've been running around up here.
You have to clean up after animals, and obviously it's been weeks or months since anybody's, or maybe never, tried to clean up after them and take care of them.
The Clark County Animal Shelter rescued 15 animals from that home. It's not clear yet what charges could be filed in the case. New tonight, police in Bell County are investigating a reported assault that may have been recorded on Snapchat. The Bell County Sheriff's Office says early this morning some people told them about a Snapchat video that appeared to show a female being held down and attacked by several males at a party. Police went to the home to investigate. They say everyone involved is under the age of 21, including some juveniles. Police have not released any other details about the investigation.
Rescue crews used chainsaws to free a car after it slid off Interstate 75 tonight. The Madison County Rescue Squad says a car heading southbound on I-75 lost control during heavy rain and ended up off the road and wrapped around some trees in a culvert. Rescue workers had to chainsaw through to get to that car. 3 people were in it, and they all walked away uninjured. They are trying to raise money for their organization by going door to door in the community. And members of the Madison County Rescue Squad say they want you to know it's a legitimate cause. Some people had raised concerns about what the money was really for. Monique Blair has the story, new at 11.
Robert Neville says he became skeptical after a man came to his home Thursday afternoon asking him to donate to the Madison County Rescue Squad.
There's just too many people out here trying to con somebody.
The Madison County Rescue Squad is collecting donations because squad volunteer Russ Morrow says the $16,000 the organization receives from the county each year isn't enough.
The rescue squad is 100% volunteer, and what the money we're raising goes for is like the Jaws of Life, the trucks, even fuel.
Morrow says the squad members who go door to door always wear a photo ID around their neck, along with a required uniform.
The emblem on the left chest, and then on the back in big letters says rescue. So that, we're clearly identified.
But if you're still skeptical in this particular case, you can log on to MadisonCORescue.org, and on the main page it shows you exactly who is out soliciting donations on any given day. And as it turns out, the man who went to Neville's home Thursday afternoon was an authorized squad member volunteer. Is this the guy that...
Yes, that's him.
Morrow says the rescue squad urges you to call the police if you ever have a concern, because sometimes there are people who are not out doing the right thing.
If you get the gut feeling, you better go with that old gut feeling. That's because it ain't always right, but most of the time it is.
In Madison County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
We also talked with Madison County EMS. They told us people often confuse them with the rescue squad. EMS does not solicit donations. We have a link to the rescue squad's website. Just go to WKYT.com.
Well, the temperature is not the only thing heating up this summer. Realtors say that Lexington's real estate market is hot right now, especially for sellers. In many cases, they say homes are being sold within days of going on the market. Garrett Weimer talks to an expert and someone putting his home up for sale.
In the few weeks Chris Hoagland's Masterson Station home has been listed, he says potential buyers have shown some interest.
We've had about 7 or 8 different people come by and realtors come by to look. So, it's been pretty active so far.
Realtors say it's a good time for sellers in Lexington. Ty Brown, president-elect of Lexington Bluegrass Association of Realtors, says there just aren't enough houses on the market for people who want to buy them.
They are out there. It's just, I have to tell them, if you want to buy a house and you're ready, you need to go ahead, and you can't sit and think about it for a long time. You have to have everything ready.
Brown says the total inventory in Fayette County right now is less than 2 months.
That means if no other houses are put on the market and they sell at the same pace they have been for the last 30 days, that in 2 months, there'll be no houses left to sell.
Hoagland says he put his home on the market last year and then took it off. He says he decided to put it back on the market just a few weeks ago after hearing it's a good time to sell.
This neighborhood has been a really good neighborhood and people like Masterson, so we decided to go ahead and put it back up now, hoping to get more bites now.
If it's a house that's priced pretty well and in good condition, it's a good chance it's going to sell pretty fast.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The Realtor Association says that low interest rates right now make it a good time, especially for first-time home buyers. Realtors say that, along with signs of a strengthening economy, are among the reasons that Lexington's market is hot right now.
A man has died after police say part of a building collapsed on him in Louisville. What we've learned about the investigation in 9 minutes.
And then dozens of Muslims holding a protest today in downtown Lexington. The message they say they want to get across to the community.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A little cooler out there tonight, courtesy of a lot of clouds and rain out there in much of the area today compared to yesterday. Those numbers are quite a bit cooler. Take a look at the numbers, and all the areas in blue are coming in cooler than this same point last night when we were talking. Actually, we talked a little later than this last night. 4 degrees colder, Lexington, 5 degrees colder. Into downtown Richmond, Madison County, Jackson, 7 degrees cooler. Right now, most areas 70 to 75 degrees. You can pick out the folks that had the most rain. Look at Maysville, look at the thermometer in Mount Sterling, Moorhead, Jackson, and now into Somerset, low 70s. Farther north and west, Frankfort, you missed out on the rain. Lexington, we were this close. And look at that, it actually rained in southeastern parts of Fayette County a little earlier. But that swath of 1 to 2 inch rains in localized areas impacting northeastern Kentucky, then again, that line into southern parts of the area. So if you're looking for a little donut hole in rain, it was right on top of the Lexington, Frankfort, and Louisville areas. What are we seeing now in your Defender Radar Network? Well, still some showers and thunderstorms impacting southern and western sections of the area, mainly more of a shower maker as of now. Flood warning is out until 3:15, parts of Pulaski and Wayne counties. Broaden out the view to show the clouds that are out there. And I mentioned off the top of the show, a situation like this sends out these little boundaries. And those are rain-cooled boundaries. They're just a little cooler than the surrounding air. And when the air tomorrow heats up, those little mini cold fronts out there will fire up a thunderstorm or two as the day goes on. So temperatures tomorrow, upper 80s, maybe a low 90 where you live, but a thunderstorm threat is going to try to diminish those temperatures again into the afternoon. Storm or two around on Sunday. It's basically do it all over again. Kind of a forecast. Saturday, Sunday. Monday has a better shot for some storms and some heavy rains that we'll have to be on guard for starting later this weekend and through most of next week. What happened tonight in Pulaski County, where you picked up at least radar estimates better than 4 inches of rain, is something we've talked about for a few days now. I said last night on here that I wouldn't be surprised that over the next week, if we aren't talking about some local flash flooding, here we are 24 hours later talking about some local flash flooding. And I think that chance goes up as we go into next week as the rain chances begin to increase. What about the weekend? Hour-by-hour breakdown. Planning your day outdoors. Here we go. Noontime tomorrow. It's a quick jump in thermometers. Then as soon as the thermometers spike, you get to that convective temperature, which varies from town to town, but generally it's going to be upper 80s, flirting with 90 tomorrow. Then all of a sudden you get to that number and you start to see some thunderstorms go up. And then that knocks the temperatures down. They'll bounce back up outside of any thunderstorm action. Tropical tomorrow evening for a night on the town. Hello Sunday with a chance for a thunderstorm or two. And word of caution, when you're looking at these computer model numbers, we've said it all week, these numbers are likely going to be too warm. They have been way too warm. Look at the rain on Monday, though. Some heavier downpours will develop, and this is likely the setup for most of next week. We get these rounds of thunderstorms back into the region. Pattern next week has some similarities to the pattern a few weeks ago that produced some strong thunderstorms and some local flash flooding. That has been the theme of the summer. Guys, it's going to continue to be the theme of the summer. Every time we try to get some typical heat, the thunderstorms just smack the heat back down.
No, that's okay. Keep smacking it away.
Speed it up.
We've got a lot more summer to go, so thanks, Chris.
All right. A Central Kentucky animal shelter wants to give pit bulls that have been rescued some attention and love. How you can help in 8 minutes. We are learning some new details tonight about a deadly building collapse in Louisville.
Firefighters say a man is in his 70s died this afternoon when part of that building collapsed in the city's west end. The building's owner says the man was among those working in the building at the time. Investigators aren't sure what caused the collapse. They say streets around the building will be closed at least 2 days until the rest of the building can be torn down. New tonight, police in Oregon say they found the bodies of a Kentucky father and son who disappeared nearly 2 years ago. Police say they found 59-year-old John Wood and 32 22-year-old Jason Wood dead yesterday in the Mount Hood National Forest. The two men were from Bardstown. Police think their deaths were a murder-suicide. The two men disappeared in September of 2014. Police say they later found their car abandoned in the forest.
New tonight, a group of Central Kentucky Muslims held a protest against the Islamic State, saying the terrorist group is not Islam. About 50 people attended the protest at Triangle Park in Lexington. The group's organizers said they were also concerned about what they called negative Islamic rhetoric from this week's Republican National Convention. The people at the protest said that ISIS is made up of cowards.
We heard it from a lot of people saying, why don't you speak up? And here are we speaking up and saying, hey, ISIS, they do not present Islam. And that's the main message we're trying to pass to the American people. And we're not afraid of ISIS. And I think ISIS, their demise is coming.
The protest organizer believes these types of demonstrations will help get rid of negative perceptions of Islam.
Health leaders say the first known case of the Zika virus in Lexington has been diagnosed. The Fayette County Health Department says a baby born to a woman in Fayette County tested positive for the virus. Despite that, health leaders say the baby appears to be fine so far and is now at home. They say during her pregnancy, the mother had traveled to a country where the Zika virus is circulating. And doctors say the mother and child are not threats to public health.
Animal shelter workers say the breed is often misunderstood. So one shelter in Paris hopes to get some attention for pit bulls they're taking care of. And they've even planned an event to help the dogs. Sabira Rayford has that story.
Take a look inside the Paris Animal Welfare Society and there will be plenty of cats and dogs. But you'll also find the people who care for these animals on a daily basis.
They go the extra mile to get the job done.
Sam Wolbert is the director at Paul's. He says this time of year the shelter stays pretty busy, but they've started to focus on one particular breed.
It's harder to move pit bulls within the shelter because of the stigma associated with their breed. So a lot of times they come in and they stay in the shelter.
Wolbert says one of the main concerns people have about adopting pit bulls is that they're going to be an aggressive dog. But he says they're just like any other pet.
A lot of people are scared to adopt pit bulls. They think they're aggressive. Landlords might not let them live in their homes with them. Rental insurance policies are usually high with pit bulls, so they can be hard to adopt. But really what they are is they're friendly dogs.
To spread their message even further, the shelter has decided to host a movie night at the Kentucky Theater where they will be screening The Champions. The documentary follows a pit bull after it was rescued from Michael Vick's dogfighting compound. Wolbert says not too long ago they rescued a pit bull named Aubrey who had been abused and locked to a tree.
She was emaciated, she had sores all over her legs, just really sick, but the sweetest dog.
Now she is happy and healthy, and employees at the shelter say they will continue to keep working to change the negative perception of pit bulls. In Bourbon County, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
And we have more information about that movie event on our website, WKYT.com.
UK showing off its new practice center.
The only word for it is wow. Kentucky now has one of the best facilities out there, and the disappointment of not making the Olympic team is softened by a world record tonight. That's next in sports. It has been talked about for a long time, and now it is reality. UK opening up its new football practice facility and giving the media a tour this afternoon. The new 100,000 square foot, $45 million facility is right next to Commonwealth Stadium, and it's one of the top training facilities in the nation. For the players, coaches, and recruits, the facility is a wow.
It's a wow, and I think it's going to continue to be a wow. Because if it's your first time in the building, your second time in the building, you know, it's like an amusement park. You can't see the whole thing the first time. So Kings Island gets you to go back the second time, right? The third time. So that's the, you know, the thing with this. There's interactive screens, there's experience, and then, we can have a dinner in there. We can have a recruiting dinner in the lobby. You know, who knows? The possibilities are endless. So.
Now on WKYT.com, we have a 360-degree look inside the new football training center. There are 7 interactive pictures to give you an up-close look at the new facility. Now, the new training center is something that Mark Stoops and his staff have promised recruits, and it should continue to give recruiting a big lift down the road. Stoops is not able to land every recruit he's targeting. He said yesterday he's happy the way recruiting is going.
I think fans focus on the guys you don't get. We focus on the guys we get, and really encouraged by the players we have. You absolutely got to have somebody all into your program. And so, you know, we feel very good about all the victories we've had. And if you go back to last recruiting class, there were some battles. It's good for us to be in those battles with the top of the SEC.
2 weeks ago tonight, former UK hurdler Kendra Harrison suffered the disappointment of not making the U.S. Olympic team. It was a different story tonight in the Olympic Stadium in London. Here is Harrison setting a new world record in the 100-meter hurdles. She buries the field. The clock was corrected to 12:20. She didn't realize the record at first. Previous record was 12:21. She may not be going to Rio next month, but tonight she's a world record holder.
I'm just at a loss of words right now. I just trained so hard for this moment, and you know, good luck to the girls running in Rio, and you know, I'm just shocked right now.
Hey, after you've finished celebrating, will you make us a promise? Make that team next year and come back here for the World Championships in London in 2017. We'd love to see you.
I'll be back.
Team USA playing its first exhibition game tonight against Argentina in Las Vegas, and DeMarcus Cousins, who is in the starting lineup for the U.S. with the strong putback. Cuz just dominant on the backboard. Later in the first quarter, nice job to grab another rebound and put it back in. He goes on to finish with 14 points, 15 rebounds in 16 minutes. The U.S. dominating an easy win, 111-74. The New Orleans Pelicans say they have signed free agent forward Terrence Jones. Jones, now a 4-year veteran, gets a 1-year deal for the NBA minimum, $1.14 million. He again will have Anthony Davis as a teammate now in the NBA. And the first round of the Men's City Tournament out at Lakeside today, just 3 rounds. Will Sally puts together an opening 65. He is 6 shots ahead of the pack, which includes former champion Matt Epperson. Second round tomorrow at Picadome. Final round Sunday at Kearney Hill. They will play just 54 holes. That's sports. We'll be back to wrap it up after this.
So a little shower and thunderstorm action out there. Southern Kentucky getting in on it on your Defender Radar Network, and still watching Pulaski and Wayne counties. Flood warning goes until 3:15. No reports of current flooding in those areas. Rains are shutting off, at least for the short term.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We hope you have a great weekend.
Take care.